new breed of young entrepreneurs have made the decision to take their destinies in their hands. They are determined to not only improve their lives, but to also positively impact the lives of others. With a burning determination to succeed, they are establishing businesses in diverse sectors of the Nigerian economy, including the media, information technology, entertainment, and manufacturing. This series examines their journey to imminent success. Welcome to the Future Force. Optometrist Dr. John Sedi is the founder and medical director of Ocuville Eye Center. John received his training at the University of Benin and has also attended several courses organized by the Nigerian Optometric Association. For over 9 years, John worked in several eye clinics all over Nigeria. In 2012, John founded the Ocuville Eye Center in Lagos. His vision was to establish an eye clinic that will provide a world-class service to patients regardless of their status in society.
Yes, Ocuville now, we started about a year ago, maybe a little bit now, over a year ago. But before then, of course, we had to do feasibility studies on paper, off paper. It's based, everything you see in Ocuville is just from my lovely wife, Obi, and myself, okay? Because we had to consider the location. We didn't want to be in a remote location because we understood that if you're in a very remote location, accessibility becomes a problem. And then we wanted to be in a place where we could catch, all kinds of people, the high, the mighty, and also the low. Because you find out that most eye clinics now are positioned to serve just the rich. But our target is, because I also consult for the local government. I am the head optometrist at the local government in Ogudu PHC. So I get to, for the past 3-4 years, I got to see that a lot of people are going blind for just no reasons. Ignorance, basically, and negligence. Money, yes, on one part, because that also forms one of the reasons why Ocuville is standing today. We want a situation where anybody at any time can walk into the eye clinic, at least know what the problem is, and then we can now know how to, solve that particular problem. But now it's kind of demystified because they're like always scared. If I go in here, I don't know what the consultation fee is going to cost. It's scary. What we offer is a comprehensive range of eye tests, eye examinations. We look at the pathological aspect, we look at the binocular aspect, and then we look at the refractive aspect. Now, for the refractive aspect, according to World Health Organization statistics, it forms 80 to 85% of the leading cause of visual impairments in the world as we speak, okay? Now, for the pathological aspect, we work hand in hand with our ophthalmologist colleague to maybe in terms of surgical management and then therapeutical management to be able to refer on the referral basis. Then when it comes to the binocular aspect too, we're still trying to set up because of the equipment cost to focus on that area. But whatever we can do for now, when our patients come in, we offer it.
In the early days of Ocuville, John was faced with a number of challenges. He struggled to find qualified staff for his new business. And with an almost non-existent marketing budget, he had to rely largely on referrals and the internet to promote his business.
First few months, our major challenge was human capital, getting staffing, the right kind of staff that will handle different aspects. Of course, they've had to come and go. Not everybody is so privileged to get huge capital, to just invest in their business. Like I said, we got it from our little savings, and at that time you want to be very, very, very wise in your spending. And then you're needing someone who will be able to attend to your customers politely, no matter the status and everything. So we found ourselves training and then also trying to get people to know that you're around, because nobody just wants to open their eyes for you when they don't know you. For me, it was easy because I had already been a doctor in the community working at the primary health center level. So when people came in and found out it was the same person, they felt at home. Because really, I think everyone will want to probe to know who is going to touch my eye. Because your eye, I mean, there are no spare parts when it comes to it. You could have prosthesis, but it cannot replace the original. You could have arms that move again, but the eyes are just there for cosmetic reasons if they are taken off. Okay, so it was let me say for the first month, we had to like strategize and re-strategize because we wanted to go on wide adverts, but the funds were not there to go on it. So we had to go on, person to person, will I use the word evangelism? Use that word. Okay, so we had to go one-on-one, talking to people. Then we could now get flyers, to talk to people. And then we now had a strong online base. Opened the Facebook page, we opened a website, and from then we've been able to really, pass the message across. So then it was brief for us because of the technological edge, or will I say the online advantage we had. So the challenge of getting patients was a little bit, just the struggle was just the first month. But from the second month, the publicity had gone out for us.
John's vision was to build a modern diagnostic center that could compete favorably with eye clinics all over the world. But he was faced with a major problem: funding. He started Ocuville Eye Center primarily with money he had saved over the years and could not afford to buy all the equipment he required. He also relays his experiences as regards the issue of power supply, as well as the stringent rules governing medical practitioners in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, you want to talk about small-scale enterprises. One of the problems they will face is finances, okay? Because our dream is that it's going to be an ultra-modern diagnostic eye center, okay? But we've not gotten there yet. But our job now, for now, is to, with the resources we have now, make sure nobody goes blind. As many that get to, but we can't help those people who don't come here. So we want to get to them. Now, the challenge we have now is resources for advertisement, okay, and the resources for instrumentation, and of course the right persons. So I want to say finances, basically because of the fact we want to do a lot of adverts and we want to do a lot of instruments, because the more sophisticated you get, the more you reduce your margin for error. With finances, you can solve the problem of power. For us, what we had to do, we had to kind of a threefold cord. It's not easily broken. So of course we have the NEPA power source, which is not very reliable. We have a generator, then we have an inverter, but we choose to go on solar, so we don't have to depend on that. In fact, getting the inverter for us was, then it was a little bit, it was at the 4th month, because then you are attending to a patient and then NEPA takes the light off. I wanted a situation where we have stable light. We could see the patient without any interruption. For us, we're not into manufacturing yet, so we don't have to 100% depend on, huge, volumes of electricity. We could manage, like I said, with our inverter power supply. So all I needed to do was to scout for a very good company who could supply us, alternative power supply. For now, even if the NEPA power is off, we could still go 10 hours without light. The policies, the government policies, do not favor, medical practice in Nigeria. If you go into private practice and ask, not just eye doctors now, ENTs, dentists, we are not even allowed to properly advertise, and they're collecting the same amount of tax they will collect from every other person who is doing the proper advertisement. We pay a lot of bills. I tell you, so much money is being serviced or paid to the government, either local government, state government, or federal government, but we're not getting anything from them in return in terms of maybe grants, focusing on instrumentation, which I believe if you ask most doctors, they will tell you is usually their main challenge.
John's primary motivation is to play a part in reducing the cases of avoidable blindness in the country. His dream is to not only own a thriving business, but to also be in a position to provide a service to everyone, regardless of his or her financial situation. He also wants to extend Ocuville services into the rural communities.
When I see people come in here and for one reason or the other, they've lost one eye or about losing both eyes, then that makes me know that there's still so much. For every one person that walks in here, there's another 100 to 200 people that are in that same condition. And I feel with the knowledge I have, we can prevent avoidable blindness first in our locality, then in Nigeria, because that would be vaulting ambition if I say I want to solve the problem in the whole of Nigeria. But we can deal with Koshofe local government. From Koshofe local government, I can move into other local governments and begin to touch the whole of Lagos. Like I said, my ultimate dream is that any person can walk in here without the fear of what is their consultation fee. That motivating factor has always been nobody should go blind around, because of course you know about the social and economic implications of blindness. If you have one person blind in your family, you may feel, oh, it's not me, but you're going to spend money looking for either the person going for braille, having to relearn how to read and write without light now, okay, now having to use his ears and his smell and things like that. But I think it's something that we can stop. We can put an end to blindness. In some countries, they've almost achieved that. Just yesterday, we saw a civilized lady who had an infection and put urine in her eyes, and it escalated into something else. I mean, common sense will tell you that why will I put a waste product into my eye you're causing more problem in trying to solve another problem. That's one. You have people using baby poo, you have people using breast milk, and I keep telling them, I mean, if the breast milk was meant for the eyes, we could put the breast milk in eye drop bottles and sell. It would be $1 million industry, okay? I mean, you'll be a millionaire now. You can imagine what I mean. So it's awareness. Because a part of what we do here is patient education and re-education. We're trying to get, format. You could see diagrams, you could see charts, where we try to explain to people to make them understand what is going on in their eyes. Okay.
John's target was to provide services to at least 1,000 patients during the first year of operation. Although he achieved half of his target, the knowledge that he has been able to establish his own practice is a tremendous source of pride.
Our most significant achievement, one is, I don't want to just say putting smiles on people's faces, because that's what everybody will say, but being able to reach so much people within this short period of time. And for me, I'm trying to say, if in 1 year we're able to do 500, what of 2 years? I should be able to get ×3. That's because my target was 1,000 originally in 1 year. But of course, because of the, everything. At the time, I was the marketing manager, I was the director, I was the nurse, I was everything. But now we have at least someone helping us with the marketing. Now the admin, we're trying to reestablish that contact in the admin, having a very good front desk officer that make your rich patients smile, things like that. So those are the areas we're working on now.
John describes the eye care industry in Nigeria and the roles played by the various practitioners.
The principal partners now are the opticians, the optometrists, and ophthalmologists. It's now generally when you're going to the eye clinic, what they tell you, they're going to see an optician. But not all of us are opticians. Not all of us are optometrists, and not all of us are ophthalmologists. Funny enough, in Nigeria, we have only about 200 to 300 qualified opticians. Okay? So many of the people you see on the road are apprentices, or what we call ophthalmic assistants. Okay? And you have a lot of them on Broad Street, you have a lot of them on the Atikeja bus stop or Jota bus stop, and so many other places. Now, the liberty these guys have is one of the reasons why you have so many causes of preventable blindness around in Nigeria today. Because in fact, no optician is allowed to treat a patient. An optician should not treat you. Now you have the optometrist, their primary eye care provider. I am an optometrist. We are allowed to treat, but we are not allowed to do surgeries. Ophthalmologists, they are surgeons, they are secondary care providers, okay? So the way it's supposed to be is you see your optometrist, then whatever referral you need, it's either you go to the ophthalmologist, if it's a surgical case, maybe laser surgery or the manual surgery, or you're dispensed whatever drugs you need, or your glasses or contact lenses, or counseling, and then you go. A lot of information is going out now via online, via media, print media, and visual media to let people know the differences. As I'm talking now, I'm sure you will begin to know, so there's the difference between this person and this person and this person, okay? It's a matter of what is the problem with my eye, who should I see, okay? Of course, the first person you want to see should be the primary eye care provider, then he will now decide on which person. But of course, when you notice they are beginning to step their boundaries, you should now be able to see. Then that's one aspect. Now that's dealing with the patient. We have the production aspect, which has to do with the lenses, quality of lenses coming into the country, and quality of frames. Of course, we know we have designer frames, we have children frames, we have simple frames, but people don't care. Especially for people who can afford 3 square meals, you are telling them to come and buy a frame of 10,000 or 20,000. They just look at you and smile. Maybe the person's income is 10,000 naira in a month, and you're telling him to buy a frame of 10. So what we try to do in that challenge is we try and go for low cost, because the main thing is the fact that we're able to at least make the person see his world or her world clearly.
Although there are a number of eye care practitioners in the country, John is of the opinion that the ability to provide a comprehensive service that goes beyond eye testing makes Ocuville Eye Center stand out amongst its peers. His ability to also utilize the internet for marketing is another advantage. But above all, John aims to provide a good service that will ultimately result in referrals.
Our edge will be one, we try to provide a holistic, service to them. We've seen people here where we're able to pick, oh, you've got a sugar problem just by looking at the eye, because the eye is a part of the body, which I know most of my colleagues will not want to venture into. They just come. You came in for your eye, just get the glasses and go. But we try to provide that holistic approach to each one of our clients to make sure it's not just about coming to get glasses, but it's about your health completely. There are sometimes people come in here and I tell them, we're not going to give you anything until you see your GP. They need to do some other tests for you. When you come back with the result, then we'll be able to attend to you. Things like, because we have things like hypertensive retinopathy, diabetic retinopathy, which you can pick if you do a proper examination at the back of the eye, what we call the fundus. Okay, and then what we do too is, like I said earlier, marketing, advertisement. It's something that I think every industry, every business owner needs to survive. The more you push out what you do, and the more you create that awareness, either online, on print, whatever, it's going to help to, sell. For us, I think that has been one of our selling points. I don't want to just say God up there, but I think pushing out the information to people. And of course, the ones that come in, we attend to them properly, so they go back out there and bring in more. We had a situation where one person brought in 7 people. One person brought in 7 because she was so impressed, and then she's like, come, go in, bring.
Through various community outreach programs, John has been able to attend to several less privileged clients. His ambition is to go beyond the provision of consultation services and provide free medication and glasses.
On a community scale, I've seen over 10,000 eyes, and I am being modest when I say 10,000. We've done some in Osun State, we've done some in Ondo State, we've done in Asaba, we've done in Borno State. In Lagos now, like I said, I worked with an NGO. In fact, I got that social marketing strategy from them. If you want to reach out to more people, bring your price down and you get a whole lot of people. And there we got to see a lot of children then, because their emphasis was on young people, primary school children, secondary school children. So, of course, usually sometimes language becomes a barrier, because speaking Yoruba for me is not, in fact, let me say I am below novice level. But what we do is we get interpreters and we're able to reach out to these people. And somehow we communicate, that by gesticulations or something, or pointing in this direction, we're able to still reach out to these people. So what we intend to do is, one, as Ocuville Eye Center, from my experience in the local government where I've worked, reach out to the different communities now. We've already started that by offering free services like free consultation, but we want to expand it to giving glasses and drugs, but that's a lot of capital. So we are calling on individuals, like we try to carefully and patiently talk to some of our own clients who may be interested, and perhaps one showed interest through a church organization and they did it for about 100 people. So we intend to do more, to reach out to these people in terms of providing free glasses, because there's some who really cannot afford it. And when we see that someone genuinely, because in Africa, in Nigeria, it's very difficult to know who is telling the truth and who is not telling the truth. But what we do is, the moment we can pick those genuine cases, we go all out to see what we can do for them. In fact, what we do here is we have low-cost glasses 500 naira, 700 naira, at least, no matter how bad it is, you could afford to get some of them. But when it comes to the lenses now, that becomes a challenge for us because ordering some of these lenses are not that cheap. So you find them spending maybe, instead of maybe spending as much as 15,000, we could make it maybe come to like 5,000 even so.
John has the following advice to both medical and non-medical entrepreneurs.
One thing I would say is, one, of course the general say believe in God, but it's very true, believe in God, not in federal government. Then, whatever area, whatever line of business, develop your skill, because that is what will push you out. They say the goldfish has no hiding place. If you know your worth, if you know your value, if you know your skill very well, people will drive all the way from Lekki to maybe Ikoyi or Ogudu to have a haircut. Why? Because there's someone who knows how to do his job very well. You see some people, they will leave maybe 10 kilometers just to eat from somebody who cooks some kobe. Why? The lady knows how to do her business very well. It may just even be the taste of the soup, it may just be the customer service, the friendly environment, the way the place, everything is. And that's what is happening. So I believe for people who are starting young, develop your skill, make sure you sharpen your edge.
John's vision is to transform Ocuville Eye Center into a world-class eye care center with additional services that include the manufacturing of lenses. Ocuville patients would be able to receive all levels of eye care service and would not have to be referred to any other provider.
In the next 5 years, Ocuville is going to definitely have a manufacturing outfit where we're going to produce our own lenses. By 5 years' time, I am very, very, very certain that when nobody will pass Ocuville without knowing that there is Ocuville, I think you can come in here and have your eye tested. You're not afraid of how much is going to fall out of your pocket. Kind of having like a foundation where anybody, because my dream is once you walk in here, you have your eyes tested. You're not scared of how much it's going to cost because all that is going to be covered. That's one dream. The manufacturing arm, very, very, very important. That's why I said all these are unselfishly. Of course, if I were to go selfishly, of course, but unselfishly, the manufacturing arm is going to go big. Then, of course, most of the outsourcing we are doing now, then we're going to have it internalized, in that we're going to have ophthalmologists in-house who are going to come in, have the surgeries done here, okay? The therapy sessions which we are developing, the visual therapy for children, orthoptics, low vision is going to be developed because now we have this aspect of optometry. It's called low vision and orthoptic. Now, low vision, most people don't like going into it because by the time somebody is pronounced a low vision patient, his money is finished. Now, and most doctors don't want to hear that there's no money after spending their time to do their diagnosis. So you are neglected. And you have to go outside the country or maybe to India, and you don't even have the resources to do all that. So I really hope we can develop that arm of low vision. By low vision, what I mean is they see your normal sunlight as low current, just the same way you see your normal low current bulb. That is how they see sunlight. Everything is dim. Everything is extremely dim. And with the best form of lens correction or contact lens correction, you can improve it beyond. So they need telescopes, magnifiers, loops to blow the vision to become at least something close to what you and I will see them. Because most people we call blind are not really blind. They are just visually handicapped. And with a little bit of these aids, we can help them. But they are very expensive. We tried to order one from the States. It was about 200 and something thousand. So how much are we going to sell now to the consumer? So those are the aspects that low vision is more on a long scale, say about 7 to 10 years. But when it comes to the manufacturing arm and the manufacturing arm and the foundation aspect, 5 years, we are hitting it ground running. In fact, I'm already looking at 2 years, so 5 years is long. I emphasize on the fact that people actually do not take their vision seriously. Majority of people would rather invest on Asoebi, than 15,000 than spend 5,000 checking their eyes. And it's a general problem we see. So you have the problem of ignorance on one hand and negligence on one hand. Of course, ignorance is I don't know. Negligence, I know and I don't care. So a lot of people get blind and they're already pre-informed. We have a lot of cases like that where I went to the doctor and he told me there's a problem and he goes, it's not my portion. I bind you, I cast you. We have to keep telling people that this is and it's an eye clinic, not a church. You do your binding and casting in church. When you come here, the doctor is a scientist. He's trained to carry out tests and come out with results. If you don't like the results, you could go somewhere else to verify, or you can now go somewhere else to specialize. But people would rather go to Broad Street because they tell you it's cheap. Things like that. So I think when we now begin to turn our focus from mundane things, when it comes to our eye care now, I begin to focus on things that matter. How will I want to still enjoy my sight 80 years from now? Do I want to see very well? Of course. And then children eye care. You find out that a lot of parents think children wearing glasses is a crime, it's a taboo. And I get to tell them that, look, a lot of children come up with amblyopia and lazy eye because of the fact that we do not take care of their eyes at an early stage. I had an uncle who dropped out of school because he had an eye problem, which when he came to Lagos in 2004, we easily, put him in order. And since then, he was like, if I had known earlier, because as far as he was concerned, in the 70s then, glasses are for Igbo people. Black people don't wear glasses. That's part of what we do here, patient education, to let them know the importance of, having these things done at the right time.
Dr. John Sedi is an entrepreneur, driven not only by the ambition to make profits, but also by desire to provide a service to the less privileged members of the society. He is determined to make Ocuville Eye Center one of the leading eye care providers in the country and compete favorably with practices in any part of the world.
I'm Dr. John Sedi, an optometrist and the medical director of Ocuville Eye Center, and I am a future force.